यूट्यूब पे 3000 सब्सक्राइबर हैं. ओके, सो let us start with the implementation of data binding. Implementation of data binding. So we have seen the basic things. Right? Core concepts of the data binding. Now let us take one example, a typical example of data binding. Getting that? Now what I want to do in the example, let me create first one component. I would be creating one component. So let me tell you first what I want to do. Right? What I would like to do. At the beginning, you don't know directives. Okay? Fine. Now, whenever I would be having one button at the left hand side, there would be different alerts. Right? Say info, or let's go to the getbootstrap.com. Here we can go. Get Bootstrap 4. Right. And components. And there is something called as progress bar. I have what? Progress bar. So I would be having two buttons for increasing the progress and decreasing the progress. And I would be having one input box. If I type one number, automatically progress should go at that level. This is a generic your project need. Your project needs all these things. Profile completion you need to show. Right? Or some progress as per the input you need to show. At that time these things are needed. So let me create one component. Say progress bar. Right? NGGC. Right? NGGC, and here you can say progress bar. NGGC, and you can say progress bar. Getting that? And after you can say project hyphen project. Which project? Data binding hyphen is there or not? Data binding. NGGC progress bar hyphen project, and you can say what? Data binding. Hit the enter. So in the data binding project, it will create one component progress bar. See, it is not been loaded here. Just refresh it and see progress bar is there. So in the progress bar, what I will do, let me copy this much code and let me put it here, or let me paste it here. Right? And at the beginning, I'll keep all these things as it is. .row, .colmd and the 12. Right? And here you can use app progress bar. App progress bar. And here you will find something like that. App progress bar. And let me give some margin empty 3, margin top 3. So it would be getting some margin, right? And after that I would be needing one page division, and to that page division I can have, you can say, 2 buttons actually. Input type button, and again one more button I would like to have, input type button. I would be needing these 2 buttons, and value I can say minus, and here I can say plus. Minus and what? plus. Getting that? And let's apply some classes. Class btn outline danger, and here outline primary or outline success. Okay, plus and minus, these two buttons are there. If you need little margin, you can give class empty 2, and here you will get little margin. If you need margin between plus and minus, here you can say ml margin left 2, right? ml, here is ml margin left, right? Is a Bootstrap 4. Can you see a little bit margin over there? Even you can take it to the center. Many classes are available. You work on the design part. I won't be working on the design part, right? You do that. So now if I click, let's have click event is equals to, here also I can have click event is equals to, right? On progress, or here you can say I'll create my own method. This is a custom method. This can be anything like this. Name can be anything like this. But be sensible while giving the variable names and the method names. On progress, here also on what? Progress. Here also I can have on progress. Getting that? Both are the progress. One is at the negative end, one is at the positive end, but it is a progress. Right. Now I'll go to the progress bar component.ts over here, and you can see on progress. Getting that? But the concern is that how do you differentiate? Is it positive or negative? Because both one same function is going to be called for both the progress. You can pass one value, right? So if it is a minus, you can pass 0. If it is a plus, you can pass what? 1. And here you can check, here you can accept those values. Here you can say progress or side, which side, which is of type what? Number. Right? If side is 0, it will not enter in this. Getting that? If side is 1, then only then it will enter into this. If 0 is false in a JavaScript, right? Non-zero values you need. So this is minus. Sorry, this is a positive extremity. This is negative.
If true, then if, then else, then negative part in the else.
Yeah, negative part. If 1, it would be getting execute. This is a plus. And this is what?
Negative.
Minus. Getting that? This is a plus and this is minus. Well, now what to do? How to make a progress? That is the first question. How to make a progress? That's the first question. For that you need to observe this guy properly. Just right click and inspect. Right? Can you see class progress bar has been attached, custom attribute role progress bar has been attached, style 50% is there, area value 50% is there, max is 100. Now I want to take it 70%. Can I change this 70? Let me try to do that. It's not working. Which means that this works on the width. So instead of 5 I can make what? 7. Which means that you need to create a style.width. Getting that? Style.width .%. And you need to increment one number. So this logic need to be built in your head simultaneously. Right? How to do that? This need to be done by means of this width parameter. Right? So you need to change this, and these two values. Well, this is just for the internal purpose of Bootstrap to read the value, right? But this is actually making impact on UI. If I make 10, 10, means I need to have one variable. Let's have one variable over here. I can have one variable, and here I can say WD width is of type what? Number. So default width would be the 10. Default width would be what? 10. Getting that? Default width would be 10. If it is a plus, I'm going to increase it by 10. This dot WD plus equals to what? Or 5, you can say. 5. And minus equals to what? 5. Unary operators we have used. Right, now you can go here and instead of this guy, change it. Style dot width dot percent is equals to what? WD. And this guy also need to be changed to what? WD. This also need to be changed to the WD. Now go here and try to what happen. Area value now is making a problem. Who is making problem? Area value now is WD. Let me just keep it as it is, or you can say interpolate it. No, not that guy making problem. Cannot bind to the area value now since it's not a known property of division. It's Control Shift R. We have changed that. Let me check. Well, we'll talk about that, or we'll sort this out later on, little bit later on, right? But let us say our logic is working or not. Yes, it's working. Right? It's working. Now you need to check if it is 0 or minimum 10, we will restrict to the 10%. While increasing, you need to check if, what you can say, WD is less than or equal to 10. If this dot, what's happening? It's time to change the laptop now. This dot WD is equals to what? Tens. Similarly, if WD, this dot WD is greater than or equal to 100, this dot WD is equals to what? 100. Extremities or upper bounds and lower bounds you are managing. Getting that? See, it will not go beyond the 10%. Right, it will not go beyond the 100%. Simple thing we did. Now if you need value, something like this label, if you need something like the label, here you need to give, can you see this div over here? So here you can provide WD and what? Percent. You can provide what? WD and percent. 15%, 25, 30. Getting that? Now why to use a Bootstrap? If you don't use a Bootstrap, you need to write code for progress bar. Whatever they have, see, no matter what is the width, it is at the exactly center. If you make a plus, still it remains at the center. They have written CSS for this, Bootstrap people. If you don't use a framework, you need to do on it your own. CSS. You need to write everything in a CSS like that. Getting it? So we created a simple implementation. Now I would like to have one input box as well. Right? I would like to have what? Input box. So let's have one page division. And into that page division, I would be having input type is equals to what? Text. Input type is what? Text. And there would be one button. Input type what? Button. I can say class btn info. And on the click, right, I need to get the value of this. I need to get the value of input box and assign it to the WD internally. Getting that? WD is nothing but your progress. Whatever you are entering over here, you can say input type instead of text, you can say what? Number. Input type is what? Number. Now I need to assign this to one variable. So I can say IP progress, IP input, or just say PRG is equals to 0 presently. And I would like to bind this variable with what you can say this input box. And we will use one, what you can say, one mixed kind of binding, which is nothing but the two-way binding. Well, in that case, you don't need button as well. Just make a two-way binding. A rect bracket, round bracket, ng model. So you are saying that. So input box would be considered as one variable. Input box would be considered as what? One variable. Right? And that variable is assigned. Input box is considered to one variable. And that variable is assigned to one Angular's internal variable called as ng model. And you can assign it to what? PRG. You can assign it to what? PRG. And you can expect one error. ng model cannot bind to the ng model. It is not a known property. Property means what? You can bind with. Property, attribute, value, click. All these are the HTML5 properties. But the ng model is, I don't know. HTML is saying, I don't know what is ng model. This is not mine. You have invented something on your own. Please tell me from where to read it. I don't know what is ng model. You take care of it. And so that you need to go inside something called as app.module file. Go to the app.module file. And Angular has provided one built-in package called as forms module. We are going to learn this in depth, but not now. Angular /forms. Forms module. And from the forms module, you need to import the forms module. Remember that we have seen this thing. You have declarations array where you are going to write all the components for now. Afterwards, it can hold the directives, it can hold the pipes and other things. But presently you know only components. So make sure that declaration array will hold only of components. Can you see progress bar component is there, app component is there. Well, there are some modules, third-party modules. Third-party or the Angular written modules. Where do you import that? In the imports array. Here. What's the provider? We'll see that later on. When you learn the services, you'll get to know this thing. Right? Forms module. Well, we have got the forms module. And now see, if I say 89, why it's not working? What's that? Oh, well, don't get, just instead of PRG you can say WD. Same variable, width variable. We will operate on the width only. 10, and here I can say 89%. Here I can say 50%. Two-way binding. Data source to the view, view to the data source. So ng model is going to map in that way. ng model is coming from the forms module. That is something different. ng model is coming from what? Forms module. Getting that? Can you see? You are operating on the WD, still it is working here. Input box is also changing. So here if I say 50, it takes you to the 50. Data source is changing. And data source is connected with your view. Getting that? Data source is connected to what? View. Even view is mapped to the data source. That's what the crux of data binding is. You would be focusing only on the data. You haven't write a single line of code for manipulating DOM or the CSS. You haven't written a single line of code. You are just changing the value of variable and that's it. That's what the crux of data binding is. Right? Any questions you have, please do ask me. If you have any questions, please do ask me. We'll see that. There are many modules in the forms module. We'll see that. Yeah. Forms is a in detail separate topic. Right.